It is 8:50 a.m. in the morning, and episode 37 is being recorded. Ben went to bed at 1:30 a.m. He's not prepared well for this. This is like basically having this is like your first round match of the British Open, and you've just not had any sleep, and you think, oh yeah, I'm world number 4, I'm the seed, I'll win. But honestly, when it comes to these podcasts, you can't leave anything to chance. He might get found out today.
I mean, it's probably the first time I've ever been late, so I'll allow it.
Yeah, all right, that was a good nibble. That's generally the sort of thing I'd say. That you'd be like, why?
Wouldn't be late for a British Open match. I'm not that stupid.
Yeah, no, Steve McGowan
Do
nearly
you know
was.
what? I was actually late for a British Open match once.
Why?
Do you know this?
Go on, tell me why.
British Open qualifiers, doubles, years ago. I'm playing with Paul Tabley, and Tabs is like notoriously relaxed about life. And we're driving in from his place in Shepperton, which is basically like the end of the M3. So it's, it's like a 45-minute drive or something.
Okay.
Get stuck in like massive traffic. And we're playing Steve Brockenshaw and Tom Granville.
Oh, hard-hitting pair.
The British Open doubles quali. And we're driving in, and we're basically just parked on the like A4, just not moving anywhere. And I'm like, I'm panicking. I'm pretty sure I can qualify. I'm young. I'm like, this is a massive opportunity for me to get into the Open.
Doubles.
Tabs is just like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine, mate. And we get there, and we're like half an hour late, I reckon.
Oh my god.
And I was like, well, this is pointless. We'll turn around. We're going to get scratched. We turn up. No sign of Brockenshaw or Granville. They're both stuck in traffic too. So they turned up like 15 minutes after us. We were both allowed to play.
That's unbelievable. So like the scratch rule just doesn't apply when both people are late.
Well, I mean, I guess because it was just like a qualifier and everyone had travelled, they were just like, look, just play it. But technically, obviously, you should be scratched. But I don't know who gets scratched.
Yeah. So who gets scratched in that
because,
case?
Because I mean, you would kind of turn around and go, right, you're both late. In theory, they get scratched because we made it to the court. But if we're beyond the scratching time as well, then I really don't know.
I mean, who won the match in the end?
Oh, I mean, we smoked him.
Oh, that's good.
He was still a class act at that point. He just didn't play.
Yeah, good, fair point.
So he was the best player on court by a mile.
Just hitting main walls.
Just literally spraying around.
Yeah.
Loving it.
That's sick. That is a good story. I enjoyed that. Have you just been gaming this week then? Full-time gamer?
No, not really. I don't really know what we're doing. We're doing quite a lot of stretching this week. Had PT yesterday, outdoors.
Oh yeah, are you allowed to do PT?
One-on-one outdoors, yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
So did that yesterday.
Is that with Nick? Is that with Nick Richardson?
That's exactly who it's with, yeah.
I've seen your bank statements, mate.
Yeah,
I know. I'm looking forward to gyms next week. And readers, to be fair.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't booked any course at Leamington yet. What are you doing?
Well, I might do, to be fair. I just need to, to be fair, I might as well. Well, I don't know what tier we're in. I'm waiting to see what tier.
That's true. Well, you're going to be in a high tier, but you'll be allowed to play at the pro. It's just a question of whether Leamington as a club will let you in.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I'm waiting for that. Actually, that's why I'm waiting. Yeah, I thought there was a reason. But no, nothing. It's really disappointing because we were going to talk about US National League, but that's been cancelled, has it? Why has that been cancelled?
It's been put on the back shelf, I think, which is a shame because I was contacted by Mr. Vigona a couple of weeks ago about it. And I was like, yeah, we'll talk about that and plug it and preview it and stuff.
Yeah, we will. It'll cost you 60 quid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, basically, are you asking the USCTA to sponsor this episode?
Yeah. Because we can.
No good, unfortunately. It's been postponed, so we'll have to do it another time. What a good way to kick off the US leg of the tour as well. That would have been perfect.
I know, it actually was. I was just like, this is perfect. And you went, bad news, mate. And I was like, no, don't do this to me.
Yeah. And we've chosen to talk about something that is not even anything US based at all.
And no US player uses it either.
There aren't really any US players, are there? They're all just Brits working abroad.
No, not even that. But just like US players just launch it. But anyway, I'm in my new house now, Ben.
Of course, yes. Sorry, I was going to ask, how did the move go?
It was good, yeah. I quite like living on my own.
I bet you. I bet you do.
Just walk around.
You can be as flaky and you can be as flaky as you like without letting anyone down.
Mate, I'm really tidy, so there's no issue with that. But I mean, you can just walk
I
around.
just mean your general flakiness of do I want to do that? Do I not? You're not letting anyone down.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
you're there on your own, so it's easy.
that's a good point actually, because I am very indecisive. But you can just walk around in pants all day and just do workouts. It's perfect.
Your plans can't change if you don't have any.
Yeah, I very rarely have any plans.
It's good though, is it?
Yeah, very good.
What are we talking here? One flat, obviously.
House, mate.
Oh my lord! Wow.
2 bedrooms.
So you're on the property ladder, 2-bed house, straight off the cuff.
Well, it's not really a ladder. I mean, I don't have anything to do with that. I'm just living it.
Right.
But if you ever wanted to come and stay, you can.
Well, if tier system allows it.
Yeah.
Or if I ever fly out to, I've done a few flights out to America from Manchester. So
yeah, you'd be silly not to stay with me. A single person household, mate. We'll make a bubble bed.
Well, I mean, I'm not flying to America anytime soon, so.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But anyway, all hypothetical. But there we go.
Oh, I'm glad you're in.
I know I am in. It's good. It's good. But and it's also closer to the real tennis club, which is ideal. Much closer.
So, have you got amenities on your doorstep?
Like a bit,
shops and
probably one of the biggest Tesco ever is a 5-minute drive.
Things very accessible for you.
A massive Tesco is 5 minutes drive away, which is ideal for me. I think I've been every day this week.
Just hammering it, not before 5 o'clock though.
Yeah, always after 5.
Surely.
I haven't been buying too much reduced stuff. I just like shopping. I like spending money. So.
But not much of it.
You'd be surprised now. I mean,
frugal.
Well, yeah, I'm still frugal, but I still like spending money. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm like an American club member. I just like spending money.
Just like in America, they love it.
Perhaps so. Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely love their spending culture.
Yeah, because it's one of you like spending money as well.
Well, what's the point in having it?
Is that you can't take it to your grave?
Well, what's the point in grafting, earning and having a massive bank balance?
Interesting, you call real tennis work grafting.
I'm not saying. Oh yeah, I sort of walk in the park all the time. But I just don't get people that are so tight with money and just save. And what are you saving for? But it's nothing. I'm like,
a disaster.
What's the point?
Right.
Not that you should go. My recommendation is not to go and drain your bank accounts, obviously. But anyway,
you'd have a lot of fun though. Right.
Yeah.
So, what we're going to talk about today is a backup topic. This was our reserve. We're going to talk. So obviously we do a technical podcast and a banter one. So we're going to talk about the cup volley today.
I don't think it's a backup at all. I think it's a very good topic, and it will be very insightful for people.
That's your disclaimer, guys. So yeah, we're going to talk about the cup volley, which is a type of return of serve, if you didn't already know. And yeah, I think we can all improve our cup volleys a little bit, apart from maybe Rob Fay, watches them.
Well, I mean, this podcast could be over in 10 seconds if you want it to be.
Why is that?
Well, it's quite simple. Just don't do it. Unless you're good enough, don't
Mate, I couldn't agree more.
If you're not good enough, just don't even try.
I've thought this, right? Sometimes I'm just I hit a cup volley in the net, I'm leave it in the locker, just don't even bother. Or you just hit some terrible cup volley to someone's racket and you're like, why have I done that?
Well, so the thing is, when I'm giving lessons, if I've got a member who has a lawn tennis background, is just a good volley, genuinely a good volleyer, it's one of their strengths. And once they get to a certain level, I'm look, you probably want to think about this because you will be able to do it, and it will be good for you. As in, it will be a positive move for your game.
Yeah.
But I've had members over the years come to me and be like, oh, I really want to learn that because it's a shot I want to do. And I'm just just don't bother, because you'll make so many errors trying to do it, right? So many errors.
Yeah, so many.
Because you've really got to pick. You've got to pick exactly where the ball's going to go. This is not it's not. It's like a timbre ball. If you just stand in the middle of nowhere and try and flick it back from anywhere, you might get a few back, but you're not hitting any good shots, are you?
No.
And that's my point with the cut volley. If you take it on, you're going to make a load of errors. But also, if you get it in the right place and you've got all the stars align, you've still got to hit a good shot. Because if you kind of just pop it flat around the corner, you've hit garbage anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's good if you get it right. It really is good if you get it right.
If you can do it and you get it right, it is a massive weapon to have. So this is going to be, this topic is quite like a high end topic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is not, if you are a 50 handicapper listening to this topic, you're going to love listening about it, but please don't go and try it. Like, it's just not worth it.
Or maybe do try it and you go to a 30 from a 50.
You've got to get out there and put so many hours into it, because a lot of the time you see people try and volley because they're trying to like avoid the back wall.
Yeah.
And so when somebody says that to me, I'm like, no. Like, you're trying to cut a corner. What you want to try and do is learn where the ball's going to go off the back wall, because 90% of the serves you're going to face at club level are going to get to the back wall.
Yeah.
So don't try and volley it because you don't know where it's going to go off the back wall. Have a lesson or a couple of lessons on figuring out the angles off the back wall with the relative spins and stuff like that. Because if you can get that right, you will. That's 90% of the serves you can deal with.
Yeah.
Or another common one is like, people like this guy I play just keeps serving into the nick. I need to learn to volley, and I'm like, do they? How many times do you reckon someone hits a nick in an hour?
They actually never hit a proper nick.
I'm like, they're probably hitting the nick at like 40-30 to you to get it back to juice, and that's when you notice it.
Yeah, it's actually true.
So I'm like, you might have a couple of times at game point where they hit a nick or something like that, so you really notice it. But there's no way they're hitting the nick with enough regularity for you to need a cut volley.
Darren Long is the best nick server ever at 40-30 against. He's the best nick server I've ever seen. The amount of times, right?
What's he serving?
Railroad.
Right. So my question to you, as a non-average club player, as a very good club player, very good national and international player, is why on earth is anyone serving a railroad into the nick against you?
Because it's a hazard.
Well, why are you not? As that ball's in flight, you should know that's going to land very close to the nick and volley it.
Yeah, I know, but then I don't know, you want to give yourself a chance to hit a gallery or hit a good shot if it's a hazard.
Oh, mate, this is unlike you at all. We're finding a massive mental weakness here.
Well, it is more mental at 40-30, I don't know.
But you've got to back yourself.
Yeah, I know, I back myself like if there was no point on it.
Well, I'll tell you now, if Darren's serving a railroad and it's going into the nick, you've got to back yourself to hit the volley, because I tell you what, there's only one way that the ball is guaranteed not to go back over the net, and that's if it hits the nick.
That is true. He's good at it. I just want him to hit a terrible serve, but he rarely does on 40-30. He's the best I've ever seen.
Listen to that. I want him to do something bad, mate. You're really uncovering a lot of truths about yourself here.
Well, yeah, exactly. Don't hit a hazard. I just try not to hit hazards. These things happen.
If anybody serves a railroad nick against me, I'm livid with myself. I'm like, why have I let that happen?
It might just be a good serve.
Every now and then you might kind of just think it's going to hit the skid on the roof again, and it doesn't, and it comes off and it's nick. Fair play, that is a good serve. But 9 times out of 10 when that happens, I'm like, I kind of went to volley that and then pulled out.
It is funny, isn't it, when you do go to volley it and you're like, oh no, and you have a split second and you go for it and you think, oh no, maybe I'll leave it, and then before you know it, it's gone.
You literally change your mind and you're like, that was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Why have I done that?
Now you mention it, that wasn't the best, but it is funny, isn't it? Because you see the ball the bounce on the roof, and then oh no, that's going to be a nick. That Drew Lyons told me a great story, right, about wanting. This is sort of away from a cut volley, but it's the same.
Oh, excuse me, carry on.
He's not part of the podcast. So Drew basically was saying he was playing the Charles Action Gray Pro-Am, and it was match point to the other team, and Rory Gunn was serving. Obviously, he's serving a railroad, and Drew was like, right, here we go. And basically, he said it came off the racket, and he knew it was going to be a nick, and he just couldn't touch it. And he was like, I wish I could cut volley it.
Yeah. I mean, Drew, the ultimate queen. I mean, Queen's players do not cut volley. Don't need to.
No, they don't really.
Absolutely no point on that penthouse. That's an interesting one. But I mean, it shows how early he read it, and that's good work on that penthouse as well.
Yeah, no. Well, obviously Drew knows that court, but yeah, there are some places where the ball gets to the back wall a lot, and you wouldn't really risk a cut volley as much.
Yeah, well, I mean, a famous example of that is, Rob and Can in the 2018 World Championship.
Did Rob hit many cut volleys that match?
No, he basically parked it. Literally one of the two best cut volleyers of all time.
In the locker.
And he just parked it.
What about to beat Chase 4? What was he doing?
It wasn't like he just completely avoided a cut volley, but it was just way too inconsistent off the penthouse. Goes back to what we were saying. Like Queens has a penthouse which makes it quite difficult to know or to trust exactly where the ball's going to leave the roof.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to hit a cut volley, you need to be so precise with your reading to get it right.
Yeah.
He just kind of backed away from it. Was like, look, I'm going to hit some. I'm probably going to hit a bit more rubbish than I want to. I can't afford to do that against Cap. So, do you know what I try and do
with a cut volley?
Yeah, like when the ball's on the penthouse, when it's in flight, because obviously I am stood in a position where I'm looking to volley.
I thought you were about to say I'm stood in a position where I'm looking up at the penthouse. I was like, no, we all do that.
Always. When the ball's in flight, I try and count how many times it's going to bounce on the roof based on the flight of the ball. And then, so basically in my head, it all happens very quickly. I'm like, right, it's going to bounce there, then it's going to travel to this point, it's going to bounce there, then it's going to leave the roof. Therefore, it's going to leave the roof at this spot here. I'm going to go there and wait for it.
Why do I not do that?
Well, at least I'm trying to be one step ahead of it. You can't react to a ball and cut volley it. It doesn't work.
I think I might start doing that, to be fair. I do think, that's going to be two bounces.
Something like a bobble, because bobbles are a lot more difficult to cut volley than people think.
Yeah, they are. There's no pace on it.
You kind of think, oh, well, that's quite an easy one to start with. No, it's not, because there's lots of bounces, it's rolling, it can, flick off the lip and pop up. It's a tough one.
Yeah. I always think, when it's two bounces, yeah, right, it's going to be here, second bounce, bang. And then quite often you do get a third bounce, and if you misread it off that lip, that you won't get it over.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why at club level, just park it.
Don't risk it, because if you leave it to the back wall,
you have to read the ball so well to be able to hit a good volley. It's not worth doing it because with all due respect, the average club player is not going to read the ball well enough, consistently enough for it to be a big weapon.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Weird how many people actually around who are between 0 and 10 don't really hit that many cut volleys. There are a lot of people who don't hit that many.
But do you know what? I think it goes back to what I was just casually mocking you about. I think it's generally people get a bit standoffish about it and a bit nervous about it. They just don't commit to it properly because what if I don't get it right? Or
I do that. So I'll hit a few in a match, and some might go well, some might not. And then maybe the match will get tight, and I'll think, nah, let's just hit a few volleys into the main wall. Let's just leave it to the back wall.
That is a prime example of what happens. It gets tight or it's
juice.
Yeah,
why would you though, right? If it's juice,
I can't risk a bad one here, so I'm not going to do it.
If it's juice 4-all, you're not going to think, yeah, I'm going to take on a cut volley here, because it could just go wrong.
Why?
Game management. Come on.
I completely understand what you're saying. But the counter to that, which is what
you could just hit. You could hit.
Top players would think is this. Right, this ball's here. This is a cut volley.
You could hit a better shot off the back wall, then maybe. You've got 3 other options, which are better choices for a juice rather than just going mental.
Which type of returner serve? If you take away a force, if you're talking about a cut ball, a ball that you have to cut,
right?
Which version of a cut shot from the hazard end is going to put your opponent under the most amount of pressure?
I don't know. It won't. But at least you're in the rally.
Well, a cut volley will.
Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah. No, I was saying. Yeah, it was almost an obvious answer.
So what I'm saying is, I completely understand what you're saying. 4-all juice, and you're like, I can hit a better shot. If I know you can't hit a better shot, you can hit a safer shot.
Good answers, Peter. That was quite a good analysis.
But a top player will just go, this is a cut volley, so I'm going to cut volley it. It's not this is a cut volley, but it's 4-all. Or I better just back away from this. It's just no, I've hit cut volley 5 million times. This is a cut volley, it's a cut volley.
Yeah.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. If the ball's there to be volleyed and you're a volleyer, you're going to volley it, regardless of the score.
That is fair enough. And yeah,
A very good analogy of that. Ben Taylor Matthews, Bryn Sayers, British Open a few years ago. I think it was like 6-5, 6-5, 3-6, 6-5 to Britain, or something like that.
Get it.
He won 2 sets 6-5, and I think it was the second set. He won the first one 6-5. It was 5-all in the second. I'm at the hazard end. He serves me 3 balls that hit like halfway up on the back wall. I take on a main wall for all of them. I put them all in the penthouse. Lose the set 6-5. Someone comes up to me afterwards. What on earth were you doing there? Why didn't you just cut a couple in the corner at 5-all there? I'm like, because the serve I was given is a force ball. That's what it is.
You've told this story like 3 times on the podcast.
Exactly.
You know?
And they're like, well, yeah, but it's 5-all.
Good story.
Doesn't matter. Like that ball that I've been given there is a force. What I need to do is get more accurate at getting it in. But like the choice was perfectly fine. The execution was poor.
Yeah, not wrong.
So if you practice your cut volley enough, the score line shouldn't matter.
Yeah, to be fair, it's good if you get it right.
There's no point getting tight at 4-all. Basically, what you're doing there is you're doubting yourself, because what you're saying to yourself is my cut volley good enough that if I need to hit a good one, can I do it? And you're doubting whether you can do that. Whereas if you give me 100 balls at a cut volleys, I'll cut volley them all, because I will not doubt myself to hit a good one.
Some of your best cut volleys, right, will come at a point where you're like, let's say, trying to beat Chase 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're literally if you're hitting a volley on a Chase 2, you're throwing all of your eggs into one basket, aren't you? Because you're either gonna win it or lose it with that shot.
Yeah, too right.
It's not, this is not a rally. That's not a rally situation. I remember Rob saying to me years ago when I was in the academy. It was about that. It was like Chase 2 and 3 or something. And I backed away and like chipped one. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, Chase 2 and 3." He's like, "Yeah, but that was like that was a cut volley serve if ever I've seen one." And I was like, "Well, yeah, but it's 2 and 3. Like, this all sounds familiar. This is all stuff that goes in your head."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Ben, like, it's Chase 2 and 3. Your best chance is to rip that cut volley in. Why are you going to back away, chip the ball into a corner, and literally run around like an idiot at the hazard end, just drift 4 balls in behind Chase 2 and lose the point anyway? Just try and win it with the first shot." And I'm like, yeah.
Right. What sort of tips can you give people if they did want to have a cut volley?
I mean, this is interesting because like this is actually a really good topic, and I was going to interject and like bring this up earlier, but I feel like we're kind of just talking around some good stuff. The funny thing about the cut volley, right, is the 2 best cut volleys of all time hit their cut volleys in completely the opposite way. What? How amazing is that?
Darren Long and Andrew Lyons.
Exactly. Completely the opposite.
Yeah.
They both look the same.
Yeah, that's true. Who are the best 2 cut volleys of all time?
Well, Rob Fay and Tim Chisholm. And I will not accept any other people thrown into the mix.
Snowy was pretty good.
Relentless cut volley. Queen's player, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Bat wall.
So, do you know what, this is interesting? Because we'd have to rewind back to probably episode 6 or something to find out who the cyborg was. I think it was Chisholm, wasn't it?
It was... Sure. No, we gave Rob to the backhand, so I think it's Chisholm.
I think Chisholm was the cut volley.
Yeah, he could have.
So the funny thing is, right, Tim and Rob hit their cut volleys in completely the opposite way. So imagine you are looking through the eyes of the person returning at the hazard end, right?
Yeah.
The big differences between the two, the big major differences is Tim would stand further away from the penthouse than Rob.
Yeah.
And Tim would be moving all of his weight into literally towards the winning gallery when he hits his cut volley, and he wraps his racket all the way round the right hand side.
That's it, yeah. It's like a punch. It's like a snap, isn't it? Like, like in volleyball when they hit like a spike, like on the top of the ball to smash it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm on about? His cut volley looks like that. Do you know what I mean?
So what he's doing is he's throwing all of his weight towards the winning gallery. So but he's hitting the ball obviously off to the left somewhere to get it into that corner. So he and the ball are on a massive collision course. So there is more to go wrong with that.
Yeah.
But the way he hits it, and the reason we gave him the cyborg cut volley, I think, was because of the variation.
Yeah.
And he can get so much, because of the way he hits it, he can get so much side spin on it. Trust me, I've been beaten by this thing thousands of times. You're kind of moving over to try and defend it. And because there's so much curl on it, you think you've got it, and it just keeps curling away from you.
Oh, right.
You've just never got it.
Yeah.
And so if you then move on to like how Rob hits it, he's a little bit further back, and he basically waits for the ball. So he doesn't meet the ball head on like a car crash. He'll kind of hang back a little bit, let the ball kind of come into him, and then he will kind of step with his left foot towards the corner that he's hitting it in, and then he will drive down like the back of the ball.
Yeah.
So if you imagine as you're looking at as you're the cut volleyer, Tim, it's not strict, but for the average person trying to like figure out what the difference is, Tim's contact point is kind of top right of the ball. Rob's is like bottom right of the ball, roughly speaking. So Tim kind of gets in and he like hangs back and then gets in and attacks the ball like around the top right of it. Rob will kind of hang back, wait for the ball to get hit to him, and then when it's kind of like sat on a tee, he'll then like drive down the back right of the ball and like hack this ball in cross court. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? He pulls a chain.
Exactly.
It looks well different to Chisholm's. I reckon Rob's one's more like easy to do.
I think if I was I was going to say if I was a coach, I am a coach. If I had someone that came to me and had like a medium level of like talent, was like, I want to learn a cut volley, for safety, I would teach them Robs.
Yeah, innit? Do you see what Leon did in the US Open, mate? Like that's why I don't really like run into cut volleys and try and hit them so hard, because you could just edge it into your face. Like I'm always quite safe on it, to be fair.
I could bring up a superb Lewis Gordon story here in the French Open, but I won't.
Oh, that would have hurt in that. Didn't he have to retire?
Yeah, it got concussed.
Did he hit the ball into his head?
Yeah, literally, like went for a cut volley off like a very fast railroad, and same thing as Leon, really, like just went too big at this ball.
Leon's one
it into the head.
Leon's one's sickening because he's winning so easily as well.
It's bad, isn't it? It's a horrible situation for anyone at any stage on any court of any ability. Like it's a nightmare. A ball that hits the edge of the racket and hits you in the face. Like there is you're just never gonna react to that. It's just game over.
Yeah.
So it is a shocker, but yeah, I would teach. When I say teaching the Rob one for safety, I mean to be able to like do it again and again for reliability.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they'll be able to replicate it easier, not because it's an easier shot, but it's not because it's a worse shot. It's just a slightly easier technique. If I had somebody that was like insanely talented, like a ridiculous high-level lawn tennis player, I'd experiment with both.
Yeah.
Because if they've got the ability to hit the Tim one, it's that's why he can hit that ball down the line so aggressively as well, because he's got all of his weight going at the ball. You can't see which one he's going to do. He can hammer that ball down the line, whereas Rob, I hit mine much more like a Rob. You can't really attack down the line with too much power because of how you're hitting the ball.
Yeah.
So Tim's got the variation because of his technique. And if I had like a world-class tennis player, I'd probably persist in the Tim method because I think you've got much more variety in what you can do. If I had a club-level player, I'd go with the Rob method because it's just a more solid, reliable, easier technique. But let's be very clear, they both produce the two best volleys of all time. It's just staggering how they do it in like literally opposite ways.
Yeah. Oh, good news actually. I think I've got like a deadness lesson with Rob in December.
There you go. See how many times Rob backs away at 4-all.
Yeah, well, great.
Just go in and go, Rob, do you know what? I've actually realised, I did a cut volley podcast with Ben, and I realised that this whole back yourself thing is a massive bravado, and I'm actually mentally really weak.
I mean, it is all a facade. I agree. I do think I'm sick, but I'm not actually that good. I think
you didn't need to come to the oratory for that. I could have just
Yeah, I know.
I've called you a muppet over the phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which would be good actually. I'm basically like the last time I did some work with him. There's certain things which I do now, which he told me, but there's other things which I just do exactly the same, and I just haven't been able to like change them. So hopefully he doesn't pick up on it again, because that'd be really embarrassing. But
Well, if you think about it, when you like first turned up at Leamington, like you must have done something. You've obviously changed your game in a roundabout way to get from 12 to 3 in the 2 kind of really intense years that you were here.
got a bit of a cut volley, maybe.
Your volley is different now than it was when you first got here.
Yeah, exactly.
Big time. Like when I used to serve railroads at you before, you would like have this really short, snappy, just like, right, I'm just going to punch it into the corner and hope for the best. Whereas you will now look to try and do a bit more with it.
Yeah, you still ace me. You still ace me.
Stuff, but
you still ace me a lot.
I do enjoy serving to you. To be fair,
I'll take yeah.
You do make me look like a much better server than I am.
Maybe it's just because the pressure's off.
Well, yes, because we're not at 4-all very often, are we?
No, we're at we're at Lovell quite a lot.
Consistently at Lovell.
That's about the only all we're at. Lovell, Lovell, right?
Well, we don't play 40-alls, do we? So
no, exactly. Right. One game all Lovell, fantastic, right? So to sum up, like. So if we're hitting cut volleys, give me the top 2 serves. To give me 2 good serves that any player, like, if you look, I'll tell you what, he's going to serve this. Maybe I should hit a cut volley. What kind of serve?
Sidewall serve.
Good, yeah. Maybe a 1-bounce sidewall is your ideal.
1-bounce sidewall serve's the easiest one to try. That's like, if I'm trying to practice my cut volley, which I'll have to do again as of next week.
Mate, you were hitting such good cut volleys as well. Like, it was a joke. Like, I've never served better railroads, right? Like,
oh yeah, I've got a lot better at volleying railroads.
My railroad weirdly got better in first lockdown just by not playing, and then like I was like, right, I can actually serve, and then all of a sudden like your cut volley got better, and I'm like, well, this is pointless.
But if you're looking for two, well, the first point, as your average club player or whatever, is don't do it. Figure the back wall out.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know that sounds like, like I'm taking the mick a bit, but I'm being deadly serious. A cut volley is very good for show, but you don't need one. Like, if you can read the ball like Einstein off the back wall as a club player, you will never need to hit a volley.
Yeah.
You just won't need to do it. As you get to a certain level and people are serving a bit tighter and they're not giving you much off the back wall, the length's very good, you need to start doing it. Bobbles, but back away and let the ball leave the roof. 1-bounce sidewalls, get in there and munch them.
Yeah.
And my other tip would be, if you look to start trying to like hit volley returns, don't fall into the trap that everybody falls into and just goes, right, I'm going to try and volley everything.
Yeah.
Like you say, pick and choose.
I think
25. Don't try and volley railroads.
Yeah. I think high serves. I reckon if you get a chance at volleying a high serve, you really should. Like,
I mean, the ball's dropping at you quite steeply.
No, but if you can
tough,
do it,
but you can pick where it's going to be because it's just literally in midair.
100%. Like, I find picking a sidewall where it's going to be is a lot easier. So like, I when I'm playing well, I always know I can cut volley a sidewall well. I remember playing at Middlesex a few times and receiving high serves and thinking, cut volley, come on, you can do it. And I was playing well. I was like, yeah.
Well, that's why I think it's quite difficult at
Queens
because you don't necessarily get the most consistent bounce off the penthouse. So some balls will bounce up, some will kind of skid a bit low. So it's tough. Even a sidewall serve's quite tough to volley there.
Yeah, if serve well. I mean, the thing is,
if you choose to start trying to hit cut volleys as a player, sidewall serves are the best to have a crack at to start with.
So yeah, maybe guys, so if you're listening, any club player, if you see like if you want to practice it in a match, in training, whatever with a pro, if you see like your opponent lining up for a sidewall, maybe think, go on, I'll give it a go and see what happens really. And I reckon, I don't know, it can only improve, can't it? We can all improve.
Do you know what the best way to figure it out is to get in there and get it wrong a lot.
Yeah.
Because then you'll figure out why. You'll be like, right, I'm too close to this, or the ball's too far in front of me, or whatever.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you do want to learn how to like hit a volley return, you cannot kind of figure this thing out for your own. You have to go and see a pro.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way you can figure that thing out on your own.
Agree with you there, mate.
So there you go. You're
Well,
welcome, pros. I've just put a load of money in your pocket.
well, there'll be a lot of money in their pockets anyway over lockdown. Because of lockdown.
Particularly the Americans, they love it.
Particularly tier 2 courts, tier 3. Wait, hang on,
Exactly.
is Reelers allowed in tier 3?
Well, the old tier system was yes.
Oh, good. Right, well, that is good. That was a good discussion about the cup volley. We keep churning out topics, don't we, Ben? However, this is now our new section, the new tour, and we're in America, aren't we?
We certainly are. Certainly are. Do you know where we're going to go first? I'm going to tell you.
Tell me, mate. I know it could be one or two places.
Well, we're going to do it geographically again.
Okay.
So, obviously, on that basis, we're going to start at like one of the kind of points of the kind of big triangle that is the American courts.
Yeah.
We're going to do the New England area first, and on that basis, it's going to be Boston or Newport. And because to get to Newport, you would fly to Boston, we're going to do Boston.
That's good. I like how it's New England as well, because those two places are places in the UK.
Correct.
Nice little link.
But not in England, but the UK.
Yeah, I know Newport's in Wales, isn't it? But like, yeah. Right, so we're in Boston then. I've been to Boston.
Boston is where I picked up my dog from.
You picked up your dog from Boston?
Correct.
Oh, Boston in Lincolnshire?
Yes.
All right, I actually thought you picked it up from America. I was like, why did you do that?
Did you not hear the American accent when she was barking earlier?
Yeah, Dr. Doolittle. Fair. Well, Boston Tennis and Racket Club, isn't it?
It is. What is it called? What do they call it?
The TNR. It's the TNR.
They call it the TNR.
Yeah.
In Boston, Massachusetts. What year was it created?
Oh.
Was it born? Founded is the word I'm going to use.
I'll tell you now. Oh no, I can't see it because obviously on my phone I used to have that girl, that model from Boston.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have it anymore. I've changed it. So I don't know. It's like 1876 or something.
Incorrect. 1902.
Fair. Great trivia as well about Boston, right? So obviously I went there in 2017 for the Van Allen and George Lynn. I bought a green jumper from Tony in the pro shop.
Yeah.
At uni, I never got more confidence about a piece of clothing than I did that quarter zip. So thank you, Boston.
Mate, I mean, obviously we can say this about every American court, but like, let's just get it out there now. Like, the clubs over there are insane. The kit, like the variety and stuff, it's just absolutely off the hook. Like,
I know. I want to go back there just to get some kit.
It's just a significantly better version of real tennis in the UK in every aspect, except for the balls.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, let's just start the American tour off by saying that every club that I've been to in the States is insanely impressive.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely loved going to all of them.
Kick this tour off.
So Boston, colour scheme, green and yellow. They redid the floor.
The floor's red, right?
Yeah. So my first ever trip to Boston was the World Championship doubles.
2007.
So they had the US Open in Philadelphia that year, and the World Championship doubles was immediately after in Boston. So that was my first ever trip to the States, and I ended up getting 2 tournaments and 2 courts done back to back, which was.
You played with Rod.
Nice.
You played with Rod in the World Championship doubles.
Correct.
Because that basically not the program, the draw for that is up on a frame in Boston. I remember seeing it. I was like, Matthews and Rod played together. Wow.
We played 2 World Championship doubles in a row.
Where was 09? Seacourt.
Correct.
God, I'm good. See, I didn't go to bed at 1:30. But yeah.
We played Mike and Nick.
Oh yeah.
In Boston, took a set, lost 3-1. And fun fact for you, that was back before the roof got fixed, and it was -24 outside, and because the roof wasn't fixed, it was -5 on court.
Wow, that is freezing.
So actually, yeah, Boston's undergone a lot of renovations in the last 10 years. They've got a new roof, so you can play all year round. I remember going there to practice with Camden once. Went to do a week's training there. Day 1, walked up, 5 balls into the knock-up. The heavens opened, started raining, and we had to walk off course.
Oh my God.
Because it would just literally rain on court. So we were like, okay, that's day one taken care of.
Right, okay, let's talk about...
So the roof's been done, the floor's been done recently. It's quite traditionally like quite a slow and bouncy court.
Yeah, it's quite a slick floor as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the floor's changed a bit, and when the US Open was there recently, I could not figure it out at all. I did not enjoy.
Does it have quite a thin
playing standard?
Does it have quite a thin timbre? I can't remember.
Do you know what? I don't recall the timbre being like memorable for any particular
fair.
positive or negative reason.
Yeah.
So the walls are black. The numbers are, the kind of art on the walls are yellow, which is strange because you'd think it would like really interfere with like the ball, but it doesn't. The floor, I'm pretty sure it used to be black, but now it's this kind of it's
red. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of pinky red, isn't it? It's not a bright red. It's quite a soft red.
Yeah.
I'm sure the floor used to be black. What do we think? Did it used to be black?
The floor? I don't know.
Let's have a look. Oh, well, I'm going to have to try and find this. Anyway, traditionally quite like a bouncy, slow bouncy course. So you can get quite, you can get a lot of balls back. The floor, since it's changed, has become quicker, in my opinion. Or when I played in the US Open there recently, my memory of that floor was that it was a lot faster than it used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't play very well there at all.
Oh well, maybe next time.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know when this back in the rotation actually.
Yeah.
It was red before because I've got that picture. I've got the picture in front of me that is the 2015 CS Cup with the model.
It's a good mate.
This is your old phone background. It was red, but it was a much darker shade.
Okay, well, like.
Anyway, what do you remember about Boston anyway?
It's the fourth floor and the second floor, isn't it? So the other floors are used for other stuff.
Yeah. So the Berkeley School of Music is on one of the floors. But yeah, everything's in the basement. They call it Court 4, don't they?
Yeah.
Is that right? The bar and everything. Great little area. Bar, pool table, dartboard. Like, pro shop right there. What an amazing social area that is.
Yeah, unreal. And it's well good. Like, the bar area is so cool. Like, the downstairs bar. Oh, yeah, unreal downstairs bar.
I've got to actually make one huge complaint about the Tennis and Racket Club.
Go on, what's that?
Made a terrible error a few years ago and redid the shower area and took away the hot tub.
There was a hot tub there?
They used to have.
Oh, they've got a good sauna. It's a good sauna.
Yeah, they used to have used to have a hot tub. Now it's gone. Really disappointing.
Oh wow.
Sorry, I've just seen the picture you've just sent me.
Can you put that as the YouTube background on the video,
That's
please?
exactly what I'm going to put. Oh, that is impressive.
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, the club as a whole is just unbelievable. The Hamlin, so it's owned by a guy called Dev Hamlin.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why the room behind the court, behind the Devil's, the Hamlin room. The rackets courts are there and stuff. So yeah, all of the. I imagine for like club weekends and stuff like that, that place must be perfect. Because even though the courts are obviously quite far away from the bar pro shop area, you're going to have an absolute party going on in the basement, and also like with the bar and stuff by the rackets. Imagine you've got like one of those weekends where you've got the tennis and the rackets going on at the same time.
Yeah. And
you've got the Hamlin room where everyone can, with a bar in the corner, and everyone can kind of get boozed up and just float from court to court. Like, it must just be insane.
I know, yeah. I remember being there and just like it's a really good social dead on, I guess, because obviously like the glass back bit.
Yeah.
And obviously it's got a rackets court as well. It's got the squash court. It's got a gym. It's mega, to be fair. Like, I'd like to be there just because it's got like a gym.
I absolutely love that club. Love it, and I love the city as well. Boston's probably my favourite city to go to in the States.
I really like the court. I really like the court. I thought you could get a lot back there.
Yeah, it's quite a, like I said, it is traditionally quite like a retriever's court. You've got to work for your points.
Yeah.
And you can't just hammer the ball into the corners and get loads of free stuff.
Yeah, no. It's good. What else do I remember about it?
Penthouses, all the penthouses in the States are quite kind of grippy.
Yeah.
So I'd say that the Penthouse is quite similar to like a Lord's.
Yeah.
Like, New York's the same as well, very similar. Like quite kind of grippy. You can really get the ball to like spin and grip on that Penthouse.
Yeah.
I always feel like, and I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm always having to reach up to try and get balls, like to hit. Oh, here you go, to hit cut volleys.
Here we go.
I feel like the ball. I feel like the height of the sidewall up to the Penthouse is high there. I always feel like at Boston, I'm kind of really reaching up to try and take the ball on the volley.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a high. I feel like the sidewalls are high. I could be wrong, but that's what it kind of feels like to me. Maybe my positioning is just completely wrong, or the Penthouse might be a bit bouncy, but that's what it kind of feels like.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, not really any like massive standout features court-wise, is it? It's not like it's really quick. Doesn't cut lows. It's not really super bouncy. Just a very nice middle of the road court. It's in great nick.
Yeah, it is in great nick. No, it's great court.
Absolutely great nick. They've done a lot of work on it recently, and like hats off to them.
Tony Hollins is still the pro. Does Camden work at Boston? Yeah.
He's the director of athletics, I believe, is his official title.
Director of athletics. Wow.
Okay. Camden, no. He had like a year contract with him. I think he's back down in Aiken doing Cam's Corner.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should collab.
We could do that, couldn't we? We could have like. I would imagine that it's Dacre doing the filming for Cam's Corner, and you could just have us sat in the galleries, just
presenting.
Just exactly. Just either talking it up or talking it down.
Well, mate, when I next come to Leamington, I'll do a vlog. Promise you. I'll do another one.
I mean, it needs to be made very clear to people that the vlog has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
It is a Robert Shankman vlog, and I just happened to be in it a bit when he's trying to film a bit of real tennis.
Yeah, good. What else about Boston? Any good players who come from Boston?
Oh, see, this is where we're going to... If you propose a game for the American courts, I am
I love how you've adopted that game. Yes, it's such a uni game. Remember that.
I am going to struggle with that.
I couldn't...
Jimmy Burke was the pro there for years and years and years, but he's not a Bostonian.
Well, it's like near Harvard, isn't it? So maybe some people first played at Boston.
I always forget that. It is like, right, Harvard's just over the river.
Harvey Specter. No, I'm joking. He's off Suits, if you don't already know that.
Okay. I was literally going to say, yeah, okay.
No, because they only hire people from Harvard. Anyway.
Oh, right.
Who else? I don't know anyone else from Boston, to be fair. I'll probably kick myself and be like, oh my god, it's so obvious he's from there. But like, or she. But yeah.
Well, if you're in the States, absolutely go over to Boston. Tony Hollins is a very good coach, and he was doing a lot during lockdown. If you follow the TNR Instagram page, he was doing some really, really, really good stuff.
They were really good, weren't they? They were really, really good.
Really good, because what he was pointing out and demonstrating visually is he was like, right, these are the common mistakes people make, and he was doing them so people could see it. And he's like, they overstep here or they get too close here. And
I saw that.
And I thought what he was doing in lockdown 1, still doing it with those coaching points, were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was like crowding the ball and stuff. Like, it was really good. It was really good. Really,
really impressive. So, that was brilliant. Tony, that was a great job. And I commented.
Cheers, T.
Cheers, T. Absolutely brilliant. So go and have a lesson with Tony in America. He's a very good coach.
Right, okay. For this American series, right, should we rank the American courts on our favourites, or what should we do? Or should we what we should do is we should name good things about them, just like why we like that club or why we would like it, because we've not been to all of them, right?
I've not been to all of them, no.
No, neither have I. So we can't really. It'd be hard to rank it, as in, where's your favourite out of the top 9?
Well, we did that in the UK though.
I know, but it's probably easier to do that with 26 courts than it is with 9.
All right. Well, why don't we just at the end of it we'll just talk about your favourite court to play on.
Fine. But yeah, we're thinking aloud here. Right, okay, but yeah, we'll think of what's your favourite part about Boston Tennis and Racket Club, Ben? Favourite part, and I'll give my favourite.
I'm not hesitating because I can't think of one. I'm hesitating because I'm trying to narrow it down.
I thought you said I'd say the dog's annoying me.
My favourite bit about the Boston Tennis and Racket Club is the basement level.
Yes, good from you. Really good. Like the squash court, the gyms. Like
I just like the fact that you come in off the street and you go downstairs. You've got the reception area there. You've got the changing rooms right there. It's actually the basement area is a very small part of the club, so it's all very manageable. You've got the changing rooms there, like so you've got the gym just down by the squash courts, but the pro shop, bar, pool table area, because you're like at the back of the club and there's like a public alley behind you. You're you're at the back. You're at like the industrial side of the building.
yeah.
So you don't have hordes of people coming past the window, so you really feel like you're in like your own little private kind of hub, but you're in the middle of a major city.
Yeah, right. Okay, for me, what I like about it is not the multi-sport. I like the changing room, right? I think no, don't say changing room. No, come on, you can do better. You can do better than this because I just don't want to say like the changing rooms for everything. Okay, what do I like about Boston?
Well, the changing rooms are quite small.
No, the bar area. The bar area. It's just so social, right? You've actually got a proper bar. You've got the pool table. You've got a TV. And I just remember when we were there for the Van Allen, just always like going to the bar, playing a bit of pool, watching TV, like good place to chat. And obviously, you've literally got like the changing rooms right there. Like you basically go straight from the changing room into the bar. And I know that's the same for a few clubs, and maybe I'll repeat myself, but I just remember it was just like it wasn't like it was a really informal feel, and I like that. I like that.
Yeah, it's a very relaxed atmosphere.
Do you know what I mean? I actually thought I was in a bar.
Yeah, no, the atmosphere of that place is great. They've got, they've got quite a young membership, so
yeah. Really cool what Tony's doing. He said like WhatsApp groups for like handicap ranges, so you can all find an opponent. I think that's sick. Like, why not?
Yeah,
like that's what young people want, isn't it?
It is.
Meet new mates.
It's very good.
And they always seem to have some leagues. I like their like social media game. It's good, and I want to get back there because I want another green jumper.
So there you go. Make a purchase.
Best $65 I ever spent.
Wonderful. Well done.
Cheers, mate. What are you on for the rest of today? I'm going to work.
I'm going into work in a minute, actually.
Oh yeah, to do what? Clean the court.
Make some calls, get the court booked.
That was
I'm going to look through my pro training booklet and try and tick off a few things that I think I can already do.
Good.
Run through it with Chris and try and plot a plan to get him certified as quick as possible.
Oh yeah, because he's not level 1, is he?
No, not yet.
He should be. He knows what to do.
Well, he hasn't been like full-time fixed pro for 3 years, and there wasn't really enough certification out there for him when he started here. So he just hasn't had the ability to get qualified. So we're going to go have a look through that logbook and and then I'm just going to have a big stretch. That's today's plan. How about you?
I'm going to work, mate. And it's
back to bachelor heaven.
It's my mum's birthday.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Round for dinner?
No, I don't think so, but I need to get her a present still.
Yes, you do.
But I'll get that done after work, I think.
Which is interesting, and like when shops are still closed, how are you going to do that?
Shops aren't shut. Tesco's open.
What on earth are you going to get your mum for her birthday from Tesco?
We'll find out. There's loads of stuff in there.
I hope it's like one of the Tesco extras.
Tesco reduced, mate.
So it's got like all the homeware and stuff like that, and you're not going to go and buy your mum like a pack of pork pies.
a meal deal, mate. Well, that is good though, and yeah, we'll see where we get to on the next stage of the American tour. Benno, have an early night tonight.
Yeah.